Ah. Grand Rising, Grand Rising. Y'all know what it is. Shout out to Uncompetitive already in the building. I got a question for y'all. I need y'all to help me out with this one. Does it look better like this or like this? My apologies. My apologies. My apologies. I'm back. I'm back. I accidentally pulled the plug out. I was trying to figure out which one looks better for y'all. I think I'm going to do this. The first way. All right. So we'll do the first way. I like the first way better too. So I'm glad that you said that. And that's why I accidentally pulled the damn plug out when I was trying to adjust it. So the first way it is, we are good to go. How's everybody doing? It is Friday. We got Uncompetitive in the building. Whew, I'm hot. We got a lot to talk about today. Shout out to Ant in the building. We got a lot to discuss, a lot on our plate. It's a lot going on, man. The news cycle, man, I tell you, the news cycle is picking up. Well, it has picked up. I wonder what politics was like before Trump. Y'all ever wonder that? Lower the same blind more. All right, hold on. A competitor told me to lower the same blind a little more. Hold on. That's better? Okay, I'm competitive coming through. I like that. It's much clearer to me. Hopefully, it's much clearer to you all. I use the different cameras. I prefer this camera angle, but sometimes with the sun in the background, and I'm sorry if you could see the marks. I was cleaning the window a little bit earlier. But yeah, man. You gotta see. That's the thing. If I turned it around the other way, it would be much. You would see me more clearly, but you gotta have that Miami in the background. You feel me? You gotta have the Miami in the background. So we deal with it as it comes. What do we got? So I rock in the building. Hold on. Let me show y'all some love. My fault. I haven't put anything on the screen. We got Uncompetitive in the building. We got Ant in the building. Uncompetitive's definitely giving us the game on the lighting. I rock. Shout out to you. I rock. It's great to see you. Great to have you. Level Cam with Horizon Level in the background. You already know what it is. We got Ebony in the building. Grand Rising Ebony. It's great to have you back. We got my brother Vons in the building. Morning 305 looking beautiful. Come on. Vons, it's about time, baby. It's about time. Usually you make your yearly trip out to Miami. So it seems like it's about that time for you to make your way out here. So you definitely keep me posted on that. What are we talking about today? So we got RFK Jr. being confirmed. We're gonna hear a little bit from him. And I may actually talk about, I wanted to explain to y'all why I haven't gone back to eating meat and fish. So I was going to talk a little bit about that. So maybe we can put that somewhere in the health conversation. Sorry, it's hot in here. And then we got Mayor Eric Adams. Definitely want to discuss that with his charges being dropped, kind of, sort of. A lot of people are upset saying that he's in Donald Trump's pocket now. Well, let's explore that a little bit. Then we got one of the Democrats keeping it real. And wait, hold on. Oh man, if I don't have that video, no, I think I have that video. So somebody was keeping it real. One of the people that was with Maxine Waters, one of the gentlemen that was trying to take over the Board of Education building and barge their way in. Y'all remember the video clip that we showed? He was saying how it's a terrible look for them and how he was wrong. You'll see the video. Then we got Jeannie Buss. So Jeannie Buss is one of the owners of the Lakers. And she has an interesting sleeping arrangement with her husband that I think tells us a lot about the Democratic Party, Western culture, and what a lot of people are fighting against. And it goes back to that term that I always use, hustling backwards, in my opinion, especially when it comes to it. conservative values versus liberal values and progressive values, pushing the household versus pushing. We'll get into it. We'll get into it. Then we got Matt Walsh. He actually told Ayanna Pressley and a lot of us to get over slavery. We're going to hear him out. We're going to hear him out. We're going to hear him out, see what he has to say on that. We'll discuss it, give our views, of course. Then we have a conversation on the CNN panel about something we've been talking about on this show since we started the show, how there are no masculine men in the Democratic Party. The difference is now the Democrats are actually saying it. Something we've been saying for a while. They should just forget watching CNN, just come tap in here and we can have a conversation, or you can join in on this conversation, because obviously it's bigger than just me talking to y'all. At least the better shows are the ones that I learned from. So yeah, it is what it is. And then we got, I'm not sure if you guys saw that pastor that was getting called out for stirring up violence, I guess, in one of his sermons. So he got called out, but you may not have heard the full context of the conversation. And since we are fair journalists here, we have to give both sides. We talked a lot about Charlottesville, even though the Democrats are still running around acting as if Trump said that there's fine people on both sides, talking about the neo-Nazis and white supremacists with Charlottesville. We are not going to do that. We are going to show them exactly how to report on certain topics, especially when you are privy to new information. You have to give that to the world and let people determine what it is on their own. So, and then we got a whole bunch of videos on X. Y'all know how at the end we usually dive into X. Hold on. All right, Mayor knows the right people. Perhaps Vons, perhaps the mayor does know the right people. And what Uncompetitive wrote too soon about slavery. Uncompetitive starting early. Hold on, Uncompetitive starting early. I'm gonna use Uncompetitive. Let me put the blind down a little bit, because I got to think a little bit about how I want to respond to your last comment. There we go. That may be even a little bit better. Okay. Now that I had a little time to think about what Uncompetitive just wrote and put me in a dicey position. Nah, y'all know I don't mind. Jews get to moan about the Holocaust. That's maybe that. We should do a study on that, because I think it's a very interesting topic that comes up. I know my parents and Maya are probably sitting there like, yo, don't get into it. Don't get into it. We getting into it. Nothing's off the table. I think it's very interesting to examine how Jewish people have been able to use their oppression and what we would just call, when it comes to Black people, I got to call a spade. When I say we do it, I say it's victimhood. So with them, it's victimhood. Now, victimhood is not necessarily saying that you're not a victim, or not giving empathy or sympathy. It's saying that you're a victim. You're a victim of a crime. And for whatever reason, Jewish people have been able to embrace victimhood, and they're challenging struggles and dealing with oppression in a much different way than Black people have. And I think it's worth a conversation. And I think it's worth us examining, because we can't just sit here and call out the victimhood when it comes to Black people, but not obviously, you can't tell Black people to get over slavery, but then on the other hand, not tell Jewish people to get over the Holocaust. Why is that fair? Right. And not to say that Jewish people are the ones telling Black people to get over slavery, but I don't know. A guy like Matt Walsh, is he telling Jewish people to get over the Holocaust? I don't know. So we'll get into that conversation a little bit later. Hopefully I don't say, I was going to get ready to joke around with y'all and say, hopefully I don't say anything that gets me in trouble, but truth shall come to light. We should be more concerned about, if we're really godly people, right? I'd rather not get in trouble with God than to get in trouble, or I'm more concerned about not getting in trouble with God than I am about not getting in trouble about certain opportunities that may come my way. Just is what it is. You feel me? If you really believe that you're a godly being, and you really believe that we're godly beings, why are we always so scared of getting in trouble with other humans compared to getting in trouble with just speaking our truths regarding being godly beings? So Let me make sure my phone is off and let's get in. Ebony ready. Hold on. Ebony ready. She like, let's get into it. Yeah, I already know it. I already know. It's funny. Yeah, we'll get into that when we get into that. We'll get into that when we get into that. So those are the things that we want to discuss. And then, like I said, on X, we'll always have some other not random videos, but some stuff that we'll go through as well. Matter of fact, yeah, this bill. Matter of fact, just to start off, let's start off with this. Let's start off with that I saw on that I'm not even sure is true, but apparently this is a true thing with some of these Ohio lawmakers. Let me show y'all what happened. Wait, I don't like. Why the camera look like that now? I don't like that. Hold on. I may have to play around with it a little bit, but I'll show you guys the video. You guys let me know your thoughts. And it's hard to watch this video and to not wonder what the hell is wrong with us as a society, as a humanity, as Americans, whatever you want to describe it as. Let's get into the video. Make sure that y'all can see it on y'all screen. That's too small for me. There we go. Big dog ish. Yeah, y'all know that song. Whatever. Actually, hold on. Ebony wrote, I saw a video recently speaking on how they were kicked out of Europe for the same things they're doing today in terms of financial practices and business and being shady in general. Ebony, what are you trying to do to me? What are you trying to do to me? What are you trying to do? All right, Ebony, we're going to talk about it. I promise you when we get there, we will talk about it. We'll talk about it. I promise you. I promise you. I promise you. Let's take a look at this video. When we get into the whole slavery reparation talk with Matt Walsh, I definitely want to dive into this as well because they go hand in hand. And there's a lot of inconsistencies and hypocrisy when dealing with Black people, as far as when dealing with Jewish people, when it comes to the government, when it comes to America, when it comes to our perspective on these issues. So we'll talk about it. No problem at all. And I did. Yeah, we're going to talk about it. All right, let's take a look at this video. So once again, let me actually back out so I can read to you the caption. So Ohio lawmakers, did I just get rid of it? Okay, so Ohio lawmakers have proposed a new law that bans men from ejaculating without intent of conception. It would fine men up to $10,000 per ejaculation. The bill was brought forward by Democratic state reps Anita Somani and Tristan Reid. Democrats, you all have lost your mind. Or maybe not.
Sponsored by Democratic State Representatives Anita Somani, an OBGYN from Dublin, and Tristan Rader of Lakewood.
The whole entire point of this bill is to call out the hypocrisy of particularly the state legislature when they bring forward bills to regulate women's bodies.
Now, there are exceptions to the proposed law, which include sperm donation, contraception, and members of the LGBTQ community. Men face a maximum $10,000 fine after the third offense if they have sex with a woman without the intention of conceiving a child.
Men have the same rights no matter where they go in the country. Women have rights based on where they live.
It just... Ladies, fellas, everybody, kids of all ages. It is amazing to see certain things like this. And then for y'all to still wonder why Kamala Harris lost the election. To be totally honest, in my opinion, it shows a lot more and tells a better, more interesting story, I should say. The fact that Kamala Harris was even in this race at all, when you look at what the Democratic Party has allowed, these things are insane. This is what woke ideology has bred. This is what our grandparents would be, hopefully they're still alive, but our great grandparents, the ones that are, they would be rolling over in their graves, seeing a lot of the things that we support. Now, I know a lot of people say, well, I voted Democrat, but I didn't support that particular thing. No, just like I have to take on the fact that because I voted for Trump, I have to take on whatever may happen between Israel and Palestine. I have to wear that because I voted for Trump. The same way Democrats, you have to take some type of responsibility and accountability for how crazy your party has gone. It is insane, the type of thing. So because of abortions, and we're not going to get into the entire abortion conversation because, to be totally honest, it'll take too long. And I don't feel like having it with y'all. I'll be honest. But we have gotten to a point where because of abortions, now we're going to sit here and say that if men are not ejaculating while having sex with women or having sex with women with the intent to have babies, you're going to find them. I don't even know. Like, I'll be totally honest. I don't even know if, and even as I think about it, it's crazy, but I don't even know if it really aligns with the Democratic agenda. Like, to be totally honest, I'm almost thinking that this would be more aligned with like conservatives because they want to have more kids. But I just don't get what's going on. It's just wild. It's just wild the lengths that people have gone in order to push whatever agenda they feel that they're aligned with. But let's just keep going. Sorry about that.
Sex with a woman without the intention of conceiving a child.
Men have the same rights no matter where they go in the country. Women have rights based on where they live.
It just misses the most basic biological facts and leans in towards middle school humor.
Austin Beigel with End Abortion Ohio calls the proposal disrespectful to the pro-life community and a waste of state resources.
They have to review it when they file it. They're going to have to stick a legal team on it, wasting time on that and delaying other bills that are trying to be reviewed as well.
ABC6 asking viewers about the proposal in an online poll. 26% said it's a good idea. 74% telling us it's a waste of time.
This may be considered a waste of money by some people, but we have had far bigger misuse of taxpayer money in bills that have been proposed and passed.
The final draft still being written. The proposed legislation will get a hearing after it's submitted. But with a Republican-controlled legislature, the bill not expected to go anywhere.
For this particular bill, that's certainly okay. Again, the whole point of this bill wasn't to get it passed. The whole point of this bill was to call out the hypocrisy.
Sponsored by Democrats.
The whole point of the bill was not to get it passed. The whole point of the bill was to call out hypocrisy. These are the things that the Democrats are focusing on. You just lost an election. You're losing all of the young people, or a lot of the young people, I should say. You're losing a lot of people to common sense thinking when it comes to what Donald Trump is pushing. And these are the things that you're trying to do. And I don't know, just a funny icebreaker. I thought it was funny. Fellas, be careful. You may be getting fined out here, but who knows? Maybe that's a good thing. Maybe that'll be the only thing that'll prevent us from having. And this is the thing. This is what it almost sounds like it's weird coming from the Democratic Party, because the Democratic Party are the ones telling us to, maybe this is just an attack on men. The Democrats are the one that are pushing us to have more and more casual sex. You know, you can be free. You don't have to have kids, all these things. This is what the Democratic Party pushes. But then on the end, and this is how that, you know, the Democrats don't like men. This is how you know they don't like men. At the same time, they're now trying to enforce, or I guess it was just to show the hypocrisy, but they're now trying to highlight or put together a law or whatever that would force men to pay fines for ejaculating during sex while not or without having the intent of getting the woman pregnant. But then the Democrats are neither here nor there. We're not going to spend too much time on it. It was just a cool little icebreaker. Like Quee said, please make sure that you are liking. That's going to help the algorithm. I think Vaughn's put it the best way. We are living in a movie. We are living in a movie. What did Quee just write? Democrats are not a serious group. I think, you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of some people use gimmicks to get stuff done, and other people just use common sense. Some people use gimmicks, other people use common sense. The Democrats have become the party of gimmicks. Whether it's all the woke ideology, I don't even want to go and name everything. They've become the party of gimmicks while they're Trump. The only, like, who's surprised? I think that a lot of people would have won. Trump is super influential and he exercises common sense, a common sense approach to politics. Let's just be real. There's too many migrants here. We can't handle them. Okay, let's remove them. Men should not be playing sports against women. Okay, let's end that. This is what the Democrats have created. Y'all made it so damn easy for Trump to win. It's just a common sense approach to politics. All right, let me see what Ebony wrote. Ebony wrote, men absolutely do need to be more responsible for where they spill their seed, planting in gardens they don't want to maintain. That's what I said. This is actually more of a conservative. This aligns more with the conservatives, in my opinion. As crazy as it is to be charging people, to be fining people, I don't know. I don't know if that's the case. Should we be fining women for having abortions? Oh, should I not say that? Should we be fining women for having abortions if we're gonna fine men for? I guess that's a different conversation. Uncompetitive wrote, does this apply to the illegal rapists they let across the southern border? Uncompetitive is coming in hot today. Uncompetitive is coming in hot today. Who knows, man? Who knows? We know that the people that come here, they get the benefit of doubt in a lot of ways that American citizens don't. But it is what it is. It is what it is. Oh my God. Here you go. Come on, Baz. Come on, Baz. Baz in the building. Baz just let us know that he's in the building. And nothing wrong with it, man. Hey, Baz, yeah, it's about time for us all to have some kids, man. So more responsible. Matter of fact, ladies, man, don't be having sex with these men out here if they don't have intention of putting the seed in you. I'm with it. Matter of fact, I just aligned with the Democratic. I'm with it. I'm with it. I'm with it. All right, let's keep moving. Let's keep moving. We got Mayor Eric Adams. We're gonna have a conversation about this. This is an interesting topic. We're gonna hear from Mayor Eric Adams. So, well, I'm interested to hear how everybody feels about this situation, because this is another issue for me where I just see a whole bunch of hypocrisy and irony. So let's take a look at this video and get your thoughts.
And we have breaking news right now. New York City Mayor Eric Adams is speaking for the first time since the Department of Justice told federal prosecutors to drop the criminal case against him. Let's listen.
My fellow New Yorkers, as you may have heard, the Department of Justice has directed that the case against me be dismissed, finally ending a months-long saga that put me, my family, and this city through an unnecessary ordeal. As I said from the outset, I never broke the law, and I never would. I would never put any personal benefit above my solemn responsibility as your mayor. It is worth repeating the facts because many sensational and false claims have been made. So let me be clear. I never ask anyone to break the law on my behalf or on behalf of my campaign. Never. And I absolutely never traded my power as an elected official for any personal benefit. No witness ever came forward publicly to make claims against me. None of the baseless threats from prosecutors of new charges and new evidence ever materialized. And this case will no longer continue.
All right, so I want to pivot to a different video. So just wanted to give y'all that so Mayor Eric Adams can talk. But what's going on is that a lot of Democrats are now, because they're saying, and I'm sure my dad will text me, it's the issue is whether it's the charges are dropped with prejudice or without prejudice. I believe that it's without prejudice, which means that after Mayor Eric Adams, let's say that Trump, I believe that they dropped the charges saying that it's preventing him from being able to do his job well, to get rid of the illegal migrants, a bunch of other issues. And what they're saying is that Donald Trump's, if Mayor Eric Adams doesn't fall in line with what Donald Trump wants him to do, a lot of people, or they can bring up the charges again. And a lot of people are sitting here saying that, oh, well, Mayor Eric Adams, he's now just in Donald Trump's pocket because Donald Trump is using the DOJ to get some type of leverage on Mayor Eric Adams. So I had a bunch of questions. Why are we calling out Trump leveraging the Department of Justice for control over Eric Adams now, but we never called out Joe Biden's Department of Justice for bringing the charges against Mayor Eric Adams in the first place? This is the hypocrisy. You're only calling it out when it's in your favor to call it out. You're only calling it out when you want to highlight, oh, this is something that Donald Trump do. Donald Trump's using his leverage. Well, what do you think Joe Biden's Department of Justice was doing when they brought the charges against Mayor Eric Adams? The charges that he's getting accused of stem from even before he was mayor. But they brought out charges when? They brought out charges against Mayor Eric Adams when he called out the sanctuary cities, when he called out Joe Biden and Kamala Harris sending all the migrants to New York City, and he was saying that this issue is going to destroy New York City. We've played plenty of Mayor Eric Adams interviews on here. We've covered this topic for a very long time on here. Why are people now just saying, well, now he's in Trump's pocket? So you're okay with Mayor Eric Adams being in Joe Biden's pocket, or you're okay. And to be totally honest, Mayor Eric Adams, he had the courage to actually speak out against Joe Biden and what the Democrats were pushing while Joe Biden was still in office. Donald Trump was not president when Mayor Eric Adams first started coming out saying that this issue is going to destroy New York City, and started calling out Democrats for pushing this sanctuary city thing, for pushing all of the migrants to come into these cities that do not have the infrastructure, and for taking resources away from New York citizens and American citizens by giving them to the migrants that were coming in. And he was talking about how much money and how that's impacting the city in a very terrible way. He said it would bankrupt the city and destroy New York City. So when Mayor Eric Adams comes out and says these things about the biggest city in the world, perhaps the most important city in the world right now, New York, Joe Biden's Department of Justice. Now, I don't even think it was Joe Biden, to be totally honest. We all understand, or I don't know if all of us understand, Joe Biden wasn't the president. It is what it is. We've heard people from his party across the board. You can just look at him. He wasn't in charge. Mayor Eric Adams said that when he would go down there to try to talk to Joe Biden, everybody else would try to dominate the conversation, and he couldn't even get a word with Joe Biden, that it was other people running it. So where was all this outrage when Joe Biden's DOJ was leveraging their power against Mayor Eric Adams because he wasn't being a good Democrat and following those rules? But now we have this fake outrage for Mayor Eric Adams and Donald Trump because now we're saying, well, he has to do what Trump, tells him to do. Mayor Eric Adams was already aligned with this way of thinking before Donald Trump was in office. So it is what it is. And in case y'all didn't know, that's how a lot of these politics work. It's all about leverage. So I don't know. Y'all tell me what y'all thoughts are. Let me make sure that I catch up with the comments. Y'all over here tripping, man. I ain't reading all these comments. Shout out to Big Bro Doug in the building. Rule number one, uncompetitive rule number one, it's always Trump's fault. That's a fact. Everything is blamed on Trump. So I'm going to play a little bit of this clip from, do I even want to play this Rachel Maddow clip? No, I don't even need to play the Rachel Maddow clip. It was pretty much just saying everything that I already just said. And shout out to my brother Urs in the building, Grand Rising. But we just need to ask ourselves. And when we go to the pastor conversation, I think it's going to come up. But I just see the hypocrisy. And it's just like, damn, y'all hate Donald Trump so much that y'all just excuse all the behavior of all the Democrats. And that is exactly the reason why, when you excuse all of the behavior, that is why they feel they can put these crazy ideologies with the wokeness and everything else. And the thing that we just saw in the first video, this is why they feel so comfortable doing it, because you guys excuse everything. This is why Joe Biden said that you ain't black unless you vote for me, because you excuse everything. You allow the Democratic Party to walk all over you, to control you, to manipulate you, to bamboozle you. For what? For what? And they don't even do anything for you. Malcolm X said it. And what's so wild is a lot of, and I have to say it, a lot of my parents' generation, the men that I speak to, the men in my parents' generation that I speak to, they very much liked Malcolm X. Very much like Malcolm X. I was raised on, well, being more like Malcolm than Martin, just being totally honest. But I don't understand why this same generation of men that lean towards Malcolm don't recall what Malcolm said about the Democratic Party. Malcolm X, let me read y'all this quote. Hold on. Let me read y'all this quote. I said it the other day. Malcolm X said, "The white liberal is the worst enemy to America and the worst enemy to the black man." And y'all saw the video that I played last week where he was talking about the white liberals, the wolf. The liberals are the wolf. And he said there's no Democrat versus Republican. It's just liberal versus conservative. But I don't understand why now, in your older age with more wisdom, you now forget all the things that Malcolm was saying and just excuse every little thing that the Democratic Party has done when nothing has changed. Al Sharpton still preaching the same thing that he was preaching 30, 40 years, 50 years ago. We're still talking about the same problems. We're still singing "We Shall Overcome" and all the other Negro spirituals. Nothing has changed, but for whatever reason, the men in my parents' generation, they just see things totally different. Y'all were the ones putting us on Malcolm. How did things change so much? How did y'all just become these people that just excuse every little thing that the Democratic Party does? I really don't understand it. I really don't understand it. Ebony wrote, they just hate, period. Nasty spirit on that side. Vons wrote, they really got our parents' generation. It's a fact, yo. I wish our parents' generation, and I get it, we all have different experiences. So we do have to give our parents' generation some grace because their experience was different than us, to where when certain things happen in the world today, it may trigger them to become more emotional or more upset about certain things than us, because we didn't have the experience that they had necessarily growing up. We didn't hear the stories that they may have heard from their parents about racism and the things that they went through. I totally understand and want to give grace to that. However, the grace has to be limited when we're moving in a direction that just doesn't make sense. The grace has to be limited. I don't know what I just don't understand why our parents excuse the behavior of the Democrats when the Democrats have never done any. I asked y'all before. I asked the question. I listed and I sent it to the group chat. I think I sent it to our group chat. Vons, Queez is in the group chat. They can attest to this. Bez is in the group chat as well. I sent a list that I just wrote out of my thoughts. Out of my thoughts, I sent a list of the things that have been accomplished, and I read the list to you guys as well on the show so far since Trump's been elected. And I asked the question, can you guys give me anything? Like, can anybody give me anything? And I've asked people, like, in real life, outside the text message as well. Can you give me anything that you're proud of or that you can identify that Joe Biden and Kamala Harris accomplished in 4 years compared to this long list of things that Trump has accomplished just since being elected? Nobody can give me anything. And I don't understand why you continue to support. Why are you continuously sending your money somewhere where they're not sending you a product back? It's like buying something on Amazon. You continue to pay for this product. They're not sending it. Go with another store. They're not sending you anything. I don't know. When I speak, Ebony wrote, when I speak on that to people, they literally say they rather deal with the wolf in sheep's clothing than face the wolf head on. I guess, Ebony, I don't know. To each their own. So that we'll leave that conversation right there with Mayor Eric Adams. Let's move on to this Jeannie Buss story. I want to move on to this Jeannie Buss story. This was very interesting to me. Very strange, but to me, it tells the story of what's happening with the Democratic Party and what's happening with these woke movements and what's happening with Americans in general in a lot of ways with our culture. So let's take a look at this video.
We obviously spent time with you and Jay yesterday. So explain the living situation.
So once again, Jeannie Buss, she is one of the owners of the Lakers. Her dad, Dr. Buss, he was the one that was I believe he was one of the people that actually put the Lakers on the map. And then Jeannie Buss inherited the family business, which is the Lakers. And she's going to have a conversation right now that we'll look at as far as the living arrangements between her and her husband.
We obviously spent time with you and Jay yesterday. So explain the living situation setup.
Okay, everybody is going to want to live exactly the same way.
It does sound kind of amazing.
Right now, we live in a building that has 3 units. So I live on the top floor, and Jay lives on the first floor. And so there's, a couple that live in between us. So we live together. We're at the same address, except I'm unit 3 and he's unit 1. We don't really want to change anything because, you know, I like my space and I have my schedule and he likes his space and he has his schedule. But we're, you know, I can, you know, take the elevator down in my slippers and, you know, hang out a little bit and go back up. And I would recommend it to any couple that feels the same way.
I can go downstairs, hang out for a little bit, and then go upstairs. This is how, and I don't even know what their politics are, but I can tell you right now, this is what's wrong with the Democratic Party. I don't know what their politics are. I don't even care. This is what's wrong with the Democratic Party. Let me put my charger in. Make sure we got juice because I can't. Make sure we got some juice because I can't afford to have this conversation cut out. What we are witnessing right here, how is this even realistic for most people, to be totally honest? But this is the push to not embrace family, to not embrace being around somebody, sleeping in the same bed. They're not even sleeping in the same bed together. You haven't heard her husband talk, but you're going to hear her husband. Matter of fact, let me play the entire video.
It's like, all right, I'm going to go upstairs. Like, okay. And when we see each other every morning, every afternoon, and every night. When you're home alone in your bed, it's like, the guys are gross. Like, we just make sounds. Like, we sweat. The sheets get all wrinkly and weird. It's like, oh, just let her sleep like a princess or a Barbie still in the box. Like, she doesn't need to be subjected to me in my, like, wrestling sweatpants, just belching in my, like, you know.
Men are so soft. We've become so soft in so many ways. And Queez just wrote it. Men are so weak and soft. That's why I can't stand it. That's why I get so frustrated when I just, and people who are close to me, this is why I call out certain men. This is what he's sitting here acting as if he likes that, making excuses for it. This is what happens. These are the women that are running the Democratic Party. And these are the men that are allowing them to run the party. And these are the men that are lying to themselves and telling themselves anything to make them feel good about their situation. He's willing to tell himself anything to feel good about his situation just so he can come on TV, get celebrated by all the other women in the Democratic Party that want to be men and that want to sit here and say, oh, yeah, I want my own space. I want that. It's not even realistic for people. Why are we encouraging people to not embrace sleeping in the same bed? Haven't we talked about studies that have come out that show that when couples sleep together, just that it's a healthier thing? This is insane. Insane. And these are the influential people, the influential women that are pushing these things because men refuse to check them. Yes, you can be checked. Yes, you need to be checked. This is what happens when men are not being men. Matter of fact, you know what will happen? There'll be a lot of women watching this video, watching that guy, and say that almost like it's empowering. Like that's an empowering thing for him to feel that comfortable with his wife. You know, that's very, he should feel empowered by that. Like we'll clap and celebrate that type of man. We will clap and celebrate that type of man. We will clap and celebrate that type of man in this type of situation, knowing damn well that 99% of people can't even afford to live in this type of situation. But this is the Democrats. Idealism. The people that run the party, the people that have the largest influence, they are so out of touch with the actual real people, the party of the people, right? Democrats, democracy, they are completely out of touch. But for whatever reason, even though the people that vote Democrat know that people like that are completely out of touch, they still support it. And these are the people steering the ship in the party of the people. we talked about it before. Democrat, Republican, all politics is a fight between wealthy people, the people that actually run the world, the people that actually run the country. There's people that just, all right, we're going to use this victim group. We're going to use the Democratic people to leverage the things that we want to push. And the other group is saying, all right, well, we'll use the conservative group. And it probably happened in reverse order. It's probably the conservatives initially, and then the Democrats, the people that had business beef with the other group. They said, oh, yeah, we got all this money. We're going to leverage our money to control this group of people. So we'll control the victims. And we'll push victimhood and we'll push all this other stuff. Even though we are so completely out of touch with those things, we'll still push them. And that's what ends up happening. It's insane. It's insane. So I don't know. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Queen said soft. Man cave, yeah, but separate apartments is OD. Vons wrote she has big NBA history. She definitely does. Bez wrote, love that. Come down when you want to see me. So Bez is cool with that. So I guess as long as you can afford it, ladies, hit up Bez. He with it. Vons wrote, LOL Bez. Queez wrote, he probably got joints coming through. Ebony wrote, that's all I was thinking. Yes, because they're probably not even together. That's not a relationship. They're friends. They're friends that have a business, and maybe that's what marriage is nowadays, or has always been, but they're not a relationship. They're not a relationship. And maybe because they have so much money, it's something. I don't know. For all the privileged people that can afford to do so, I guess go ahead and try that. But I find it very hard to believe that the majority of people that, especially out here living check to check, can even visualize this living arrangement working for them. But to each their own. But these are once again the out of touch people with super privilege that are setting the tone and leading the people that do not have super privilege. That's what I see happening. But it is what it is. Maybe y'all see it differently. All right, let's move on. We are going to move on. Why do all these windows keep popping up on my screen? We're going to move on to that Matt Walsh video that I was telling y'all about, where he's talking to Ayanna Pressley. Let me pull that up about get over slavery, man. Apparently, in this video, he said, y'all need to get over slavery. Y'all heard me. Look at the screen. He said, y'all need to get over slavery. Is he right? No, I'm joking. He didn't say that. But is he right? Does he need to say that? Maybe one of these white guys should just get on TV and just straight up say it. Use the N-word, maybe even use a hard ER, and just say, need to get over slavery. Just to get us to kind of come together and unite and maybe actually really get over it. I don't know. I'm just talking. But let me, Vons is a fool, yo. Y'all in the chat. All right, let's take a look at this video. Where is it?
This report, Representative Ayanna Pressley will reintroduce H.R. 40, federal legislation to study reparations for slavery. Did this on Wednesday as the Trump administration leads a wide-scale rollback of diversity, equity, and inclusion efforts in the federal government. The bill, which had 130 co-sponsors in the last session, is not likely to advance under the Republican-controlled Congress, and the White House has previously been opposed to any reparations effort. So this is a symbolic gesture. It's obviously not going to go anywhere, the bill's not going to pass. And even if somehow, which it wouldn't, it did pass, Trump would not sign it. So
another symbolic gesture. That seems to be a reoccurring theme with the Democratic Party. We started off the show showing something that, we don't expect it to get passed. We're just using it. It's just symbolism. What have Black people fallen in love with when it comes to the Democratic Party since Lyndon B. Johnson and maybe before that? Symbolism. What did MLK, if he actually said it, when he said that he fears that he's led his people into a burning house? Why did he lead his people into a burning house? Because he took the bait on symbolism. When you even look at that I Have a Dream speech, that entire event, if you know the history behind it, there were a lot of other black leaders that were not okay with it, and they picked MLK for a reason to do that speech. There's a reason why they didn't have Malcolm over there. They picked him for a reason, and it's because, like it or not, it is what it is. MLK, great person, great man, but in my opinion, he got finessed with symbolism. And then when he woke up and realized it, that's when they said, we got to get rid of him because he's got too much power. So my question would be, why fall in love with symbolism, and why push for all these things that are just symbolism that we know are never going to go through, that Trump's never going to sign? Why push it now, but you didn't push it when Joe Biden was in office? You didn't push it when Barack Obama was in office. We tend to forget that the Democrats, what was it, 12 out of the last 16 years, the Democrats have been in power 12 out of the last 16 years. And I believe when Barack Obama was in office, they had the House and the Senate at a certain point. So all this reparation talk, do y'all ever think that, oh, why push it just to make a scene so Trump, in every Democratic primary, even though there was no primary this year because they know they finessed everything with getting Kamala Harris to become the nominee without the normal democratic process, right? Think back to when Joe Biden was running in 2020. Think back to even 2016, I believe reparations were being mentioned, or I should say 2015 and 2019. All the Democrats were talking about reparations in the primary, but when Joe Biden actually won, where was the conversation around it? The Democrats just want to complain and to just push certain things that they know are BS so they can have the Republicans deny it. The Republicans have to be the responsible parent, right? It's like you got one parent that's just throws out stuff. Oh, we could do this for fun. We could do this for fun. And then you got the responsible parent that now has to say, we can't afford this. This doesn't make any sense. This isn't safe. This isn't practical. So now that parent is looked at as like, damn, man, you never want to have any fun. Like, I want to be with that parent. Meanwhile, that parent is just living in a bubble, a utopia that they know is not realistic. It's just idealistic. That's what the Democratic, I don't know. We're only 39 seconds into the video. Let me actually play a little bit more of the video. I see some of the comments. Let me keep up with the hold on. Matt, Ebony said, isn't he Canadian? I'm not sure what Matt Walsh is. F the symbolism, quietly send them checks to the lineage. And it's never going to happen. We know this. Why did Democrats not pass reparations when they had full power? Uncompetitive, I'm saying the same thing. Because they don't care. Because they only want to complain. This is what I say all the time. The Democrats have no foundation. What are their foundational principles? What are their foundational values? The only thing that they have is well, let's see what the Republicans are doing and let's oppose that. How can we figure out how to call the Republicans racist for doing these things? And they only have complaints. There are never any solutions. So even though Kamala Harris said that Donald Trump would rather run on a problem than run on a solution, when have the Democrats ever presented solutions? The Democrats present solutions when the Republicans are in power. Then when the Democrats are in power, they act like they totally forgot about the things that they were pushing the Republicans to do. Let's keep going. It's for optics, not substance, Quee said. Vaughn said they know they will win with Trump playing games with our lives and mental state. They know they will win with Trump playing games with our lives and mental state. Elaborate on that a little bit, Vaughn. I'm just not sure that I totally understand before I respond. All right, let's keep going with the video.
It's a symbolic effort, but it kind of shows you where the Democrat Party is right now, where their heads are. And on that note, there was a bunch of Democrats that got together to talk about this and why we need reparations. Here is Ayanna Pressley, for example, trying to explain it.
We can legislate justice. Amen. We can legislate healing. And we're certainly long overdue. And for those that would say we need to just get over it, that's interesting. When as a nation, you are benefiting right now from an economy that was built on the brutalized backs and the indignities and the horrors of chattel slavery and our African ancestors.
Can I ask y'all a question? If you guys had a friend that was in a bad relationship, in a terrible relationship, but they were in love with the person, whatever, wouldn't they have to get over it in order to move beyond it, in order for their own, not to forgive the other person, but just for their own well-being? You have to get over that and move past it. You have to for you to succeed. If you keep dwelling on that bad relationship, then it's going to factor into a new relationship or prevent you from even having a new relationship. And if you have a new relationship and you're still stuck on those things, aren't they going to play out in your new relationship and cause issues with that? I'm just wondering. I'm really just wondering. I'm really just wondering. Let's keep going.
Okay, a few things. First of all, no, you cannot legislate healing. She says we could legislate healing. No, there is no legislation that can heal anything. Nobody's ever been healed by legislation. I wish it worked that way, but it doesn't. I wish all physical and emotional wounds could be healed with. I wish you could pass the Physical and Emotional Wound Healing Act of 2025 and everybody would just feel better. But it doesn't work that way.
I disagree with that. I disagree with that because if legislation is putting money in your pockets, then, I mean, that's exactly what civil suits are, right? You sue, you have a civil lawsuit in order to give you money to feel better about the situation. So I disagree as far as what Matt Walsh said about not being able to legislate from that standpoint, or that not being a solution. I think that you can legislate a lot. I just don't think that it's ever going to happen. I just don't think that it makes sense for me to focus on it, to put my time, effort, and energy into it. But I think Vaughn's just wrote, what did Vaughn's write about the 40 acres? Vaughn's wrote, we need that 40. So Vaughn's talking about 40 acres and a mule. If you gave people 40 acres and a mule, yeah, give us the 40 acres. Forget the checks. Give the 40 acres. I guarantee you that'll change a lot of people's lives and people will feel healed. Because to be totally honest, we didn't experience slavery. Our ancestors experienced it. So I don't even know how that works as far as like, how can we be healed for something that we didn't even go through, but our ancestors go through? You can't heal them. I guess from a spiritual standpoint or lineage standpoint, you could say that our people would be healed with it. But put it this way, healing, whatever you want to call it, you give me 40 acres right now, I'm going to do something with it. I don't even need the mule. Just give me 4. Matter of fact, I'll take the mule too, because if you got a mule on your property, then you could write it off, I believe. So yeah, I'll take both. I'll take both. Ebony wrote, Crowder is Canadian, not Walsh. They all look. Oh, Ebony. We can't be mad if they say it about us. They all look. Ebony funny. Maya wrote, other groups have received reparations from this country. We should as well, especially when promises like 40 acres and a mule were reneged on. These America's some renegers. They some re-niggers. They're re-niggers. Case in point, Barack Obama was giving Jewish people or Holocaust lineage survivors, I'm not sure exactly the wording. Barack Obama was giving reparations to Holocaust or to people that came from the lineage of Holocaust survivors. Barack Obama, let me say that again. Y'all favorite president, right? Your favorite president, Barack Obama, the black guy, right? I guess he's black. Right? Black American, even, yeah, okay. That guy. He was giving Holocaust survivor. He was giving reparations for the Holocaust, but he didn't want to give reparations to slavery survivors, right? Or not survivors of slavery, but the lineage of people that come from slavery. Very ironic. But then when they asked Kamala Harris the question about reparations, do y'all forget? I know that a lot of these things happen over time and they throw a lot of stuff our way, but do y'all not remember what Kamala Harris said when she was asked about reparations? She said she can't do anything specifically just for Black people. But y'all still voted for her. This is what I don't understand when it comes to Black people voting for the Democratic Party, and a lot of white folk too. Y'all literally will complain about the Republicans not doing something, but then excuse the people that you actually give your money to in support and votes. You'll excuse their behavior for not doing it, but then get upset at the people that you don't vote for not doing it. It doesn't make any sense to me. Doesn't make any sense to me. Maya wrote, if no other groups had received, then I'd say we could just ignore. So because other groups have received it, you don't want to ignore it. Yeah, I choose to ignore it. I don't want to put any of my time, effort, and energy into reparations, because you want to know why? In order to get reparations, you have to ask for it from a certain group of people, right? The government, right? So I'll tell you what, you know what I would maybe I wouldn't ignore it if the actual Democrats who were pushing it actually showed that they had some intent of doing it while they actually have the power. It just doesn't make any sense to me. You can not ignore it, do whatever it is that you want to do. But to me, that's just, I'd rather put my time, effort, and energy into something else. So that's just me. But I mean, I get it. I get it. Y'all go ahead and keep fighting it, and hopefully y'all can give me something too. So appreciate y'all. Y'all keep fighting the good fight. Maya wrote, South Africa legislated healing. Vons wrote, don't mention, and I actually got to do more research on that, Maya, because yeah, there's examples of, there's a lot of, matter of fact, I saw some crazy videos and maybe I should show them, of America. Actually, we give money to, this was a crazy video. I don't know how I don't have it queued up today, but I need to actually do a little bit more research on it. But apparently a lot of this money that was being sent out, US aid or whatever, some of it was going towards survivors or Taliban family survivors. It sounds insane. Like I said, I got to do a little bit more research on it, but apparently members of the Taliban that died, their families were giving money something crazy. It sounds crazy to me. It sounds like, I don't know whether I was listening to it while I was half asleep. Sometimes I wake up and I listen to stuff and whatnot, but we need to look into it. We need to look into it. So I'm with looking into it. Vons wrote, don't mention Jews because Holocaust happened overseas. Can't compare it. I agree. Vons, I've said this plenty of times. Why is Barack Obama? But y'all love Barack Obama. Y'all give Barack Obama every excuse in the book. Y'all give Democrats every excuse in the book. Why are Democrats giving Jewish people reparations for something that did not even happen in America? But then the same people that complain and say that we should receive reparations, when they are actually in power, they don't feel the need to actually give people reparations. Maybe it's because the people in power, like the Ayanna Presleys and the Kamala Harrises and all these other Democrats, the Barack Obamas, maybe they don't push to receive reparations because they already have figured out their way to get reparations. Maybe through a lot of these funds where it's like, oh, this money's being sent out. Maybe that money is actually going to a lot of our politicians, so they don't feel the need to really push the need for y'all common folk, right? Y'all common folk that vote Democrat, that's what I'm talking to. They don't feel the need to give it to y'all because they're already getting theirs. That's why they have $200,000 salaries, but then are worth $90 million, $20 million, $7 million. Doesn't make much sense to me, but y'all put pressure on the people y'all voting for. Ebony wrote, right, Maya? Maya wrote, because generational wealth was created from programs that excluded us from So giving us something would make up for generational wealth other groups have been able to create from owning land, etc. This is why you need men. Maya, you're totally right. But this is why you need men. What you're saying sounds good, but it doesn't mean shit if it doesn't happen. And I'm not expressing this energy to you. I'm expressing to the point. The reason why I'm saying this is you can be completely right, but why waste time on something that's never going to happen? Why only push it when there's a Donald Trump in office? I didn't hear any of this energy being pushed. Matter of fact, a whole lot of black people voted Democrat, continue to vote Democrat, even though the Democrats who were saying that we need to have reparations when they actually had the power didn't do so. So why would I waste my time doing it? Especially if black people are just going to continue to vote Democrat without leveraging the power that we have to force them to give reparations. So we can have an idealistic conversation about reparations as long as we want. But you know what men are going to come to the table and say? Forget all that. I'll win without it. That's what y'all women need to get on board with. Forget all them complaints over there. Get on board with the men that will sit here and say, I'll win without it. You want to know why? Because we're never getting it. So unless you can win without it, you're not going to win. That's just my standpoint. I could be wrong, though. I could be wrong. Oh, shoot, I'm 10 minutes behind. Hold on. Let me catch up with these comments. My apologies if I'm reading the comments so late that they're out of context. Let me catch up. Major facts, need that 40. Ebony Roche, it's still on tax forms to ask about the Holocaust. Because he was a descendant of slave owners, he doesn't feel connected to the Black American experience. Didn't even happen in America. I agree. Well, Kamala and Barack wouldn't qualify. LOL. It needs to be Black Americans only. Wow, she really said that. Not ignored, but we can move on. Okay. Only Jewish lives matter in America. Woo. We need real men that can work with their hands. Real shit. Hold on. OG. Y'all know how I'm coming, bro. Fuck them reparations, bro. I don't need that. I don't need them. We don't need them. Literally, we get so caught up on this symbolism. We get so caught up in reparations. Let's be honest. If every single Black person in America was given a check right now, first off, you know damn well they ain't giving you no land. And if Black people were received a check right now, we may be entitled to it, but let's just be honest. If you give irresponsible people money, it's only going to make their situation worse. I'll give you an example. There's somebody that I know that told me that they no longer play the lottery. And they no longer play the lottery because they're scared that if they actually win, they would have to give money to certain people in their family that would be considered very dangerous, because when you give certain people, irresponsible people, money, it hurts their situation. It puts it. If you know, you know. If you know, you know. Ebony wrote, we have to support the men and let them lead. That's what I want, land. They ain't giving us no land. We know that. They're not giving us any land. It's just not happening. It's just not happening. It's just not happening. That's the most valued commodity. Matter of fact, if I was really a white supremacist, I'd say this all the time. If I was truly a white supremacist, I would be pushing to give Black people checks. I would be pushing to give Black people checks because Black people, we have no businesses of our own. So the only way we can spend our money is to not recirculate our money in the Black community, but to spend it on other people, on their businesses. Think about on a daily basis. What Black businesses, it's so normal for us. This is why when support Black business is such a thing. It's so normal. And this is why you remember when you support Black businesses. Every little thing that we do, we're supporting a non-Black business. Every little thing that we do. Where do we live if we're renting? Probably not a Black owner of your apartment building. When you driving to work and you go get gas, probably not a Black guy that owns that gas station. When you picking up your coffee in the morning, probably not a Black guy that owns that coffee shop. When you going out to get lunch, probably not a Black guy that owns that place that you're going out to get lunch from or that you're ordering from, and the app that you're using to order it and bring it in DoorDash. I don't think a Black person owns that. Think about what you do on a daily basis. We don't have businesses to spend our money on. We got to go so much out of our way. It's such an inconvenience. And if it's not an inconvenience, then why don't we do a day where we challenge ourselves? Let's see if we can go a whole day with just spending money on black businesses. That means your ass would be sleeping out in the park or find a black-owned hotel. I don't know what. Y'all get the point that I'm making. Y'all get the point that I'm making. Queez wrote Dave Chappelle's skit on reparations. Ebony wrote, oop, that really would be their best bet for that. Most of the money would go right back into the economy. I'm being honest. And Ebony, even the people that got land, like there would be some of us, a few of us maybe, that would use the land in a positive way. But let's just be honest. Most of us weren't even taught a lot of these things. So I'm not saying that. So even if we got the land, people would just sell it. Yeah, people would just sell it. Just like you see a lot of people coming into these communities. Let's just be honest. You see a lot of people coming into these communities that are knocking on doors and willing to give people cash for their homes. That's exactly what would happen if we were given land, a lot of us. Now, that doesn't mean that we still shouldn't get it. It's our land to lose. It's our wealth to give up. You know what I mean? I'm cool with that. But our issue is not a money issue. It's a mentality issue. We have the wrong mentality. It is not hard to make money in America if we have the right mindset. All you have to do is it's very simple. Okay, there's 14,000 of us, but really 14. Okay, there's 14 people in here, right? This is very simple. This is very simple how to make money in America. There's 14 people in here. All right, we list out what everyone does. We list out what everyone does, all the services that we provide. We look at let's look at the things that we spend money on. Let's make sure that we have everybody in this chat that is able to assume one of those responsibilities and start businesses on those things that we spend money on. Let's look at water. Somebody should start selling water. Matter of fact, I want to sell water. So now all the water that everybody gets in this chat, you purchase your water through me. Now somebody else may sell something else. Food. Who's on food? All right, we get all of our food from that person. Okay, we get all of our clothing from this person. It's very simple to make money. That's what other cultures do. It's only hard for us because we don't own shit. So it's a mentality. It's not a money thing. We're spending the money. We spend just as much money or more money than anybody else. That's why I said, like, if I was a white person, white supremacist, I'd be like, yo, give them niggas the money. They're going to make sure that we're such good we are such good consumers that we fought to spend our money in white restaurants when they did not even want us to eat there. We fought to pick up food in the back, to get spit on, to have ketchup. Y'all see all the movies where they talk about you go to eat at a white restaurant and the white people there are spitting on the black people because they're sitting at the counter and they're not supposed to sit there, and they're pouring their soda on top of their heads. We fought to give money to people, and all those lunch counters that we were sitting at that didn't want us there. Meanwhile, the black restaurant, the guy that took the risk to own that black restaurant, is sitting there saying, look at them niggas. They doing all that to support those white businesses when they could just come here where they're welcome. And I'm struggling to keep the lights on because they think that white food is so much better than theirs that they get to pick up in the back, sit in the back, and all those. Come on, man. Come on. What are we really talking about? Maya Bunch wrote, Maya Bunch, I said her full name. It's Ayanna Pressley's job to create legislation, LOL. So let her fight the fight. F it. She's not wasting time because she's doing her job. She is wasting time because look at us reviewing this video. The Democrats, we could sit there and say that those politicians, they're not wasting time. They are wasting time because they get us emotionally attached to arguments to where we're now allowed to embrace victimhood. We're all looking for reasons and excuses why we're not as successful as we think that we should be, why we don't have the things that we think we should be, why we're not living better lives. And when Ayanna Pressley does something like this, all it does is give us a nice, comfortable pillow of victimhood for us to lay our head on rather than going out there and getting it on our own. This is why you need men. Sorry, Maya, but I'm just, it is what it is. It is what it is. This is why we need men. I got big plans for agriculture, and I would start an importing, exporting business. So, Ebony, you got big plans for agriculture. Let's do it. What's stopping us from doing it right now? Why do we need reparations to do it? What do you need? What do you need? I've said it plenty of times on this show. I said it with Uncle Brother. I said, what do we need for our businesses? Let's create it right here. If we truly have businesses that are going to add value, there's a lot of other businesses. See, we look at raising money for our business as a burden. I'm the same way, because we're not confident enough to know that I'm giving you an opportunity to invest in my business and make money while you sit back and just put in money, and I'm going to give you. We look at it the other way. Oh, I don't want to ask them to invest in, what I got going on, because we're not truly confident in it. If we were really confident in it, we would be saying like, yo, you know how real confident people, they're selective. Super wealthy people, they have to fight to invest on certain projects. They have to fight for it. Us, we look at it totally different. And that confidence a lot of times can only come from us actually doing it. So there's nothing wrong with us having certain insecurities or not being as confident because we haven't done it. But Ed, what's up? What you need? What do we need? If that's the lane that you're going to be in, agriculture, then what's up? We got people on here right now. We got people on here right now where we can raise money. We can do whatever it is that we need for you to have your import export business. Vaughn's raised his hand. All right, let's keep it moving. Let's keep going with the video.
And especially in this case, because there is nothing to heal. Yes, Ayanna Pressley, you should just get over it. Yeah, you need to get over slavery. You do. You definitely do. Get the hell over it. You need to get over it. Yeah, your whole life revolves around pity and emotional blackmail and whining incessantly about the past. That's your whole life. And it's pathetic and it's grotesque. And you need to just get over it. Yeah. You see, because if you had yourself suffered some outrage, some indignity, some terrible experience years ago, and all you did was just talk about it and whine about it, then I would tell you that at a certain point in your life, you do need to get over even that and get back to living your life. Like, no matter what happens to you, at a certain point, you have to get over it at least enough so that you can live a life and focus on other things.
A lot of people may hear that. It's hard for people to hear it. Say that he's being insensitive, say he's being an asshole. You may be right. This is why we can't allow our emotions and feelings to dictate our logic. We may sit here and say, well, he may be right, but we don't want him saying it. As a white man, he can't say it. If it's true, it's true. And I mean, Vaughn's just wrote definitely not right. Let me ask y'all this. So if Vaughn's wrote that it's not right that we need to get over it, how have the results been with us not getting over it? We're at the bottom in America. Literally, we are at the bottom in America. So if not getting over it and being emotionally attached to it and triggered by it has landed us in the bottom, should we try something new? And see, this is the thing. This is the thing. See, people think that you have to like a politician that you vote for. Sometimes you just vote for somebody because the results, whether it's their intent. See, we fall in love with the intent of the Democrats because the Democrats say, well, they get out there. We should get reparations. Black people have experienced so much. We fall in love with their intent to the point where we don't ever actually look at the impact and the results. I don't care whether Donald Trump likes black people or not. I don't care whether any politician likes black people or not. I care about what are the results going to be if they are in office. Like who are we in middle school? Are we in high school? He likes me. What are the results of them being in office? That's what I care more about. So, hold on. Let me catch up with the comments. Maya wrote, she represents her constituents. Just like you said, we are at the bottom. If this is something that would address us being at the bottom, then what is wrong with her creating legislation around it? Maya, the problem is it's not serious. It's just symbolism. If she was really serious about creating legislation off of it, why not do it when you actually have a Democrat in office as the president? It's not a serious thing. The only reason why she's doing this now is so she could say, look, Donald Trump's racist. We're creating this legislation. So meanwhile, she's getting everybody to now say Donald Trump's racist, us to get on this board, knowing damn well that they have no intent. So it's an investment on our part. We're acting as if we're not invested in this as well. Whether it's emotion, whether it's energy, whatever it is. When you have a group of people that have fallen in love with being victims, when you give them something else to feel like a victim about, they're going to embrace it rather than showing initiative and getting up and doing shit on their own. So we can sit here and say, what's wrong with her creating legislation around it? The problem is it manipulates the minds of so many of us. Case in point, look at a lot of our parents that will vote against a lot of our parents, because they hate Trump so much, and a lot of the reasons why they hate Trump is because people like Ayanna Pressley doing stuff like that. She'll hold Donald Trump accountable to doing reparations, right? But she will never hold Joe Biden accountable or the Democrats accountable. So now we'll just look at this situation as if, oh, Donald Trump's racist. He doesn't want to give reparations. He doesn't want to give reparations. And now because we hate Donald Trump, we will continue voting for the Democratic Party that will continuously not do anything for us and put us in an even worse position that we would be in with the Republicans. All you got to do is sit back and talk to somebody in our parents' generation that voted for Kamala Harris because they hate Trump and say, what did Joe Biden do that was good for us? What did Barack Obama do that was good for us? And they can't say anything. Her pushing this stuff, it's not practical. They're doing it. She's doing this because she's a salesperson. She wants to connect with our emotions. She wants to trigger us to hate Donald Trump. Because the more that we hate Donald Trump, the more we'll support and get behind an Ayanna Pressley. And that's good for Ayanna Pressley and her business. Because now it allows her to raise more money because she's more influential. It doesn't do anything beneficial for us. Hopefully y'all understand what I'm saying. I think Ant just said it best. I just saw the word distraction. So the timing is what makes no sense to me. She should have pushed Biden. Maya, if the timing doesn't make sense to me, the timing makes perfect sense to me. And I think it makes perfect sense to you. But I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. It only doesn't make sense to people that actually believe that people like Ayanna Pressley are really fighting for reparations. Do you think Maxine Waters cares about the Board of Education? If these people really cared about the Board of Education, then they would address the fact that the Board of Education has been failing Black people first and foremost for a very long time. But y'all weren't marching down to the Board of Ed and trying to change policies and trying to change whatever when Joe Biden was in office, when they would have opened the doors for you. It only doesn't make sense if you really believe that these Democratic politicians actually care about your Black ass. That's the only time it doesn't make sense. It makes perfect sense to me. They're just salespeople. They're marketing their product. And the easiest way for them to market their product is to attach to people's emotions. Maya, I just sent you, we just talked about yesterday putting together a product line that relieves pain. Because I had a conversation with a buddy of mine, and he's like, yo, as somebody that played football, you've dealt with a lot of pain. You should be selling foam rollers and selling this and selling these products. He showed me a bunch of products that people are selling online that are supposed to reduce pain. And he said pain is such a big thing because it's an emotional thing. It's something that you feel. It's a physical thing as well. And when you feel something, it's easier to sell the product. They want you to feel something. That's why it's easy to sell people on pain. Because you could attach to people's emotion. Come on, y'all know how this goes. All right. Ant wrote, everything is a distraction designed to keep you from focusing and becoming your best self. That's why it's a problem, Maya, because it's a distraction. It's a distraction because it takes accountability and responsibility off of ourselves. It makes us buy into the fact that we need reparations in order to be successful when we don't need any of that. On one end, black people, we want to sit here and act like we're God's gift. We're we're this and that. We're so superior and all these other things. All right, so let's show it. Let's show it. We can do more with less. All this. All right, so let's show it. Maya wrote, I agree, LOL. I had to do 2 comments because it wouldn't all fit. Ebony wrote, I agree with you. Uncompetitive wrote, my suggestion is to bring back the GI Bill, which ended in 1956. This rewarded veterans of World War II with fully paid education. This gives opportunity to learn a routine in the armed forces and get PhD. I'm with that. Dak, remember they can go against each other in the party, so of course they overlook things that their buddy is doing. Oh, Dak, remember they can't go against each other in the party, so of course they overlook things. Of course, Bonds, that is why they attacked Eric Adams. Because Eric Adams went against the party because it was common sense. But you can't use common sense. It's a gang mentality. So just like if you're in a gang and you say like, yeah, I'm not doing that because it doesn't make sense. No, you have to do it because that's what the gang's doing. It's the same thing. It is the exact same thing. So why put your trust in certain people that you know are just going to say and push certain things when it's a Republican, when it's an op, compared to pushing their own people? I don't know. Let's keep going.
And that's what I would say if you personally had suffered some sort of terrible event. But if the terrible thing happened 150 years ago to people who are all dead now, to people who are all not you, then yes, even more so, you need to get over it. Because
please make sure y'all are liking for the algorithm. Please give me a like. Please give us a like because it's about all of us.
It's not even your thing to get over. It didn't happen to you, Ayanna. You are a United States Congresswoman. You're doing fine. You have achieved nothing in your position. You've done absolutely nothing in your position. Not a single damn thing. You don't deserve to be where you are. You've done nothing for this country or even for your own constituents. And yet you still have this very powerful position.
Is he wrong? I'm not really as familiar with Ayanna Pressley, but I ask the question all the time about Barack Obama, Joe Biden, Kamala Harris. What did they do for you? What did they do for you? Black people put a lot of these Democrats in power, right? We want to take credit for building the country. Well, let's also take some credit for building the Democratic Party, right? And being the people that no matter what, they don't do anything for us, we still vote for them, right? So if we're one of the foundational supporters of the Democratic Party, what have they done for us? I'm going to leave the conversation there. We're only 4 minutes in. This is an 11-minute video. I think we heard enough from Matt Walsh. I think we get it. Everybody get it? We can move on? All right, we can move on. All right, so let's move on to the next video. I think there was... What did we want to do? All right, we're going to do the video on the CNN panel. So the CNN had an interesting panel. Let me pull that up for you guys, where they're talking about there's no masculine men in the Democratic Party. Let me get y'all thoughts on that. You guys tell me exactly what you're feeling on it. Guy named Clay Travis. I guess he apparently said it. So let's take a look at this. Let's get your thoughts.
I mean, is he right? I mean, Eric Adams is still a Democrat-ish, right? He does push.
You think he's masculine?
I think. No, he's buff for 63 years old. I was going to say Obama when they say.
I don't like what Abby just did there. Y'all may not have picked up. Maybe I'm being a little bit too sensitive, but I don't like what Abby just did there.
He's still a Democrat-ish, right? He does push.
You think he's masculine?
I think. No, he's buff for 63 years old. I was going to say Obama when they said right away who's the most. Now, he's slim, but he's athletic. He plays ball.
But is he right that Republican... Well, first of all, let me just show you the numbers, because actually the numbers maybe do suggest this. For young men under the age of 29, the swing from 2020 to 2024 in Trump's favor is pretty significant. 49 to 48, Trump to Harris. It's almost tied with young men. Trump did very well with young people relative to what he normally does. There's something going on here.
No, and I mean, this was why, Joe Rogan was so influential in this campaign. Joe Rogan has an audience mostly of young men. There was this whole big drama about.
Very quickly, we got to pat ourselves on the back. I don't understand how confused. This is how you know how out of touch these people are. How long have we been talking about on this show that the Democrats are losing, that we are not our parents' generation? How long have we been talking about it on this show that we are not our parents' generation? We're not going to fall victim to the same propaganda and the same "we shall overcome" with the Negro spirituals. We're not our parents' generation, but it seems like they are just now realizing this. I didn't need a study to show me that younger men think differently than older men. Like, I didn't need a study to show that. My mom talks about it all the time when it comes to, like, my dad and I. Like, it's different generations, so we see things in certain ways differently. Like, across the board, our generation sees things differently than their generation. But how do these professional journalists, or whatever they're called, or whatever, that talk about these things every day, that are into politics, how did they not see this coming? And it's because they're out of touch.
Something going on here.
No, and I mean, this was why, Joe Rogan was so influential in this campaign. Joe Rogan has an audience mostly of young men. There was this whole big drama about whether Kamala Harris was going to give an interview to him, wound up not doing it. I think is probably a mistake, although it probably didn't affect the outcome of the election. But I mean, I think, what that guy said was pretty dumb, but it is not, it is not true. It is true that Democrats have a problem, especially with young men. I mean, that is a real fact.
So to me, that in a way it validates what Clay Travis is talking about, because if you're trying to get young men, you're not going to get them on all policy points and all. No, Joe Rogan knows karate, and sometimes he talk about drugs. That's good enough for me. Pete Hegseth was in.
And I don't like that comment, because what it does is, Joe Rogan does karate and he talks about drugs. So that's why young men are drawn to him. Okay, so when it comes to an RFK, or let me just address that. Let me not go somewhere else. Donald Trump does not do karate. He doesn't drink. He doesn't smoke. I don't believe that Donald Trump's ever done, I believe he's never been a drinker. So why are young people drawn to him? These Democrats keep coming up with excuses. It's because y'all are completely lost and overly emotional. It's because our parents' generation of men, like it or not, y'all have been too emotional. You've been too emotionally triggered with politics when you're supposed to be logical with politics. That's the only way to win. It's not about Joe Rogan being into karate. It's not about, Charlie Kirk is not into karate. I don't think so. Charlie Kirk doesn't talk about drugs. A lot of these conservatives that are opposed to drugs, let's just be honest, aren't the Democrats the ones that are pushing weed in Florida? They voted for you could smoke weed on the street in New Jersey and New York. You can't do that in Florida. It's against the law. You can't do that in a lot of these conservative states. So they don't even realize what they're saying. They're trying to make every single excuse in the book as to why the Republicans are attracting a certain group of people and young men. And it's just because y'all have lost y'all minds in the things that you're pushing. So you'll say that Joe Rogan is attracting young men because he does karate and talks about drugs, but completely ignore the fact that, well, maybe it's because they don't think that they should be competing against women in sports. Maybe it's because they don't think that they should walk in the boys' bathroom in school and see tampons. Maybe it's because they don't think that they should be in school and in the public library and having books read to them by drag queens. Maybe it's because of some of those things. And they're actually willing to say it. It's insane. And maybe it's because CNN, all the men that y'all put on y'all show, the black men, a lot of y'all black men are let's just be honest. A lot of the black men that I see on CNN, we've talked about it for a very long time. They seem to be very emasculated and very feminine. It just is what it is. Metrosexual at best. I'm not saying anything that we haven't been saying for the last year and a half. But they're so confused. You keep putting out men that are looking emasculated and wondering why young men are not attracted to them.
Germany this week doing squats with like 220 on the bar outside for no reason. About drugs. No, Joe Rogan knows karate and sometimes he talk about drugs. That's good enough for me. Pete Hegseth was in Germany this week doing squats with like 220 on the bar outside for no reason. That's what the Democrats. I'm being silly, but
and you know
I'm
what?
serious.
One of the other points that Clay Travis.
This is why RFK Jr. Look at, I just watched an RFK Jr. Video where RFK Jr. with the shirt off and the jeans benching. He's healthy. That's what men want to. Matter of fact, and what's so funny is since all this wokeness with the Democratic Party, this used to be what men have aspired to be like from the beginning of time. Strong, athletic. Like these are the things that, like, this is what men were attracted to. Y'all just tried to push us in a different direction and make us call it toxic masculinity, call it all these other things, and try to feminize us. You tried to emasculate us. You did emasculate a lot of us by triggering us with these emotional talking points, these emotional things, and getting us to ignore our purpose, in my opinion, as just men. So when he says Pete Hegseth is working out for no reason, it's not really for no reason. It's because that's what men should do. You should be your strongest because you're supposed to be looked at as a protector and a provider. That's like saying somebody's going to work for no reason. They're going to their job. When you woke up and went to your job this morning, did you do it for no reason? No, you did it so you'd be able to make money and provide for yourself and maybe your family as well. So I know that a lot of people aren't used to just going to the gym just because it's the healthy thing to do, but that's what we should be doing. And because we've embraced so many other things, that's why we got the obesity problem that we got in this country. All these men are embarrassing.
Travis made, and I think this is true. We saw this in real time.
Hold on, let me catch up with the comments. My fault. Let me catch up with the comments. Hold on. And Uncompetitive wrote, Joe Rogan didn't make that much of a difference. The Theo Von interview humanized Trump. I actually didn't even see the Theo Von one, but I heard that the Theo Von one with Trump was very good. Trump did WWE. That's a fact. I remember that. Young people are drawn to honesty. I agree, Maya. Battle of the Billionaires. Joe Rogan and Trump feel honest whether you like them or not. I agree. Rogan is no kingmaker. Rogan was timid to get political. That's a fact as well. He is a liberal fence sitter, and had he not had either candidate on, Trump would have still won because of Theo Von. That's actually something to let's remember. Joe Rogan was, I believe, a Bernie Sanders Democrat. This is how far the Democratic Party have gone, and they don't even they've pushed so many people away because they look at the things that they're pushing. It's insane the things that they're standing on. Matter of fact, credit to them because as politicians who are salespeople, they've still been able to sell their product to a whole lot of Americans, even though their product is completely insane, in my opinion. But that's just my opinion, though. Vons wrote, marijuana laws was a good thing because the conservatives were trying to lock everyone up. But yeah, Democrats are confused sexually. LOL. All right, let's keep going. I wasn't expecting that.
When Trump had the assassination attempt in Butler, that image of him raising his fist and saying, fight, 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 was like a shot of testosterone in the arms of a lot of men. Mark Zuckerberg was like, oh my God, he's so cool.
Yeah, and when you put him next to Joe Biden, who's shuffling along, like, are you surprised that people would see this image and be drawn to it after you get used to Joe Biden?
And now look at where we are politically with some of these very people really turning politically toward Trump.
Those numbers that you
Uncompetitive,
just read,
I agree.
It's been happening for 10 years. This has been happening slowly but surely over time. I think that pollster in that clip earlier had said 2 out of 6 moderate men voted for Trump. Sorry, it was the majority of moderate men voted for Trump. Even over 20% of liberal men voted for Trump. There has been what is seen.
Please make sure y'all like. Please make sure y'all like.
As I don't want to say a war on masculinity, but there has been this trend in the Democratic Party, or it's at least felt that the left is becoming more and more hostile to the things that are typically men. And you've seen
Common sense.
John Fetterman talk about this idea of like patronizing, calling them bros, or that ad that looked like a spoof at the end of the race of like real men do this. It's like, have you ever talked to a dude in your life? So in James Carville saying, we need to have less like yappy voices and more men talking. And there are many men in the Democratic Party.
Democratic messaging is too feminine. But Carrie, what do you think is the
Look at CNN. Look at MSNBC. Who are the black men that are being... Look at Roland Martin. Roland Martin is not somebody that I look at and just say, yeah, seems like a masculine guy. Maybe. I'm just saying looks-wise. Al Sharpton is not somebody that I look at and I say, yeah, seems masculine. Van Jones is not somebody that... But look at the people that have their... The women who have these shows on these Democratic platforms, mainstream news outlets, the women in the Democratic Party, along with the people on the mainstream news outlets, are more masculine than the men. Why are we acting like this? This is why I get so confused as to why older generations of men continue to support the Democratic Party. Look at what they're pushing. Look at what they've been pushing for a very long time. All they've been focused on is empowering women at the expense of men. Look at the things that get celebrated. I know somebody that should I say this? Should I say this? Should I say this? All right, let me say it in this way. Do you know how easy it is to raise money? If your business or nonprofit, whatever, relies on funding, how easy it is to raise men if you have a feminine or emasculated as a man. If you have an emasculated approach where you're just praising the strength and of women and they can do no wrong, very easy to raise money. Now, if you pivot in a different direction, things change a little bit. I may not be making the point clear, but I don't think making the point is worth what may come from making. Let's continue.
Masculinity that they are attracted to in Trump.
I'm laughing because I just, no disrespect to you lovely men on this panel.
We do have
but you men or something. That's all, you men or something. And I can see the appeal of Donald Trump being a very strong masculine man, and I can see him winning over men because I do agree the Democratic Party, for all intent and purpose, felt like a place for the others, and they tried to take on every issue that the Republicans didn't want. If you want to talk about trans, come here. If you want to talk about LGBTQIA, come here. If you want to talk about men and women, in sports, come here. There were all of these things that I felt men wanted to say felt emasculating. It felt like, I'm not with that. I don't believe in that. And I'm going to go over here because they're saying what I'm thinking.
And the abortion issue played a role in that. I mean, I think they did a political calculation.
And I think no one cared about
was
abortion.
Be the big thing.
Everything she's saying, I'm going to be totally honest. I'm not the biggest fan of Carrie Champion. Just not the biggest fan, just letting y'all know. Beautiful, but I'm just not the biggest fan. She came over from the sports world. She's gotten into the politics now. A lot of her stances, I just think are, I don't know. They just rub me the wrong way. I can't think of anything specific right now, but there's been a lot of back and forth between her and Scott. Whatever. I agree with what she's saying. And I want to go back a couple seconds so we can hear this full fully what she's getting ready to say.
I don't believe in that. And I'm going to go over here because they're saying what I'm thinking.
And the abortion issue played a role in that. I mean, I think they did a political calculation.
And I think no one cared about
was gonna be
abortion.
the big thing.
I think no one cared about it. I think everyone thought that was an issue, and when it was all said and done at the end of the day, I'm not saying I don't care about abortion, but what I'm saying is when Kamala made that one of her huge talking points, when Michelle campaigned for her, that was a huge talking point. And then in my mind, I'm all like, well, what happened to these people? I knew that people would be upset about that, and it felt as if it didn't matter, although it does. It felt as if it didn't matter because the conversation about manly men, as we just saw that young man say on the panel, what is his name again?
Clay Travis.
Yeah, I knew that.
NBC News has this report. Representative Ayanna Pressley will reintroduce H.R. 40.
All right, that's the old video. We already saw that one. Let me catch up with these comments. Bernie revealed how much he was in the pocket of Big Pharma in the RFK Jr. confirmation hearings. That's a fact. RFK Jr. called him out. I'm not a Bernie guy. I'm not a Bernie guy. Queez wrote, my man got shot. They tried to take him out. Facts. I don't know. It's like you hate Trump so much. With Trump, I don't know how I would have handled it. I doubt somebody shoot me, I'm getting out of there. Somebody shoot at me, I get hit in the ear. Trump stood on it. Yeah, hold up, wait. Fight. Come on now. Y'all didn't like that? You see, Queez wrote, you see how 50 Cent act. That's a fact, yo. 50 Cent, that's the 48 laws of power, man. Yo, 50 Cent lives his life based on this book, in my opinion. And that's why he did a book with the co-author, or he co-authored a book with the Robert Greene, who wrote that book. They write, ain't no muscle in there. Yeah, I'm with you, Vons. All right, let's move on. We actually didn't even talk about RFK yet. All right, so I want to talk about this point before we have to wrap up. I don't know how long I'll stay on. Y'all know I'll stay on. But I want to show a couple of different videos on. I wanted to show. Hold on, give me a second. Where do I want to go with this? I wanted to show that video. Let me show this video. All right, boom. I'm going to show the video where I was telling you guys about that. Hold on. All right. With the pastor. I wanted to show y'all a couple videos on this pastor. But do I even want to go that route? We'll hold off on that. My fault. Y'all saw my brain working in real time. Let's actually go to. We'll go to X real quick. Let me go to X real quick. My bad. I'm trying to make sure that we get as much done as possible. This is important work we're doing here. But we got to adjust to the timing. So take a look at this video.
This report tells us how to cut waste, cut red tape, streamline the bureaucracy, change procurement rules, change the personnel rules, and create a government that works better and costs less.
I've read it, and where it says the president should, the president will.
Among the 800 recommendations, eliminating 12% of the federal workforce, merging some government agencies like the FBI, the DEA, and the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms, closing hundreds of government offices outside Washington.
From the day I took office, one of the commitments that I made to the American people was that we would do a better job here in Washington in rooting out wasteful spending. We thought that it was entirely appropriate for our governments and our agencies to try to root out waste, large and small, in a systematic way. It means cutting some programs that I think are worthy, but we may not be able to afford right now. A lot of the action is in Congress and legislative, but in the meantime, we don't need to wait for Congress in order to do something about wasteful spending that's out there. We haven't seen as much action out of Congress as we'd like, and that's why we launched on our own initiative the campaign to cut waste. And we're going to keep on finding every possible way that we can do that, even if Congress is not acting. There you go.
I just played that just to show y'all the goal has been for a lot of these presidents to eliminate waste, to cut the government, to be more efficient. So I know that it's Donald Trump doing it, and that's a lot of people's problems, the fact that it's just Donald Trump doing it and it's Elon Musk. But I just wanted to remind us that this has been the goal of a lot of presidents for a very long time. So a lot of people may be sitting here saying, well, yeah, it's been the goal, but it's the way that Donald Trump's going about it. It's the way that Elon Musk is going about it. I don't know. The Stockholm syndrome is just coming to my mind. I don't know why, but I'm just telling you, it just popped into my mind. And I see what Ant wrote real time. My brain just be all over the place. We have fallen so much in love with our oppressor. Our oppressor, right? We've fallen so in love with the Democrats that have convinced us to continue voting for them while doing absolutely nothing for them, that we will get more upset about how Donald Trump and Elon Musk are actually doing the things that the previous presidents had goals of that they did not get done. But we will be more upset at Donald Trump and Elon Musk because, well, it's the way that they're going about it. But we'll get more upset at them for actually making strides and being super transparent with the people. That's why the Democratic politicians are so mad, because they are being transparent with us and embarrassing the Democratic politicians and embarrassing a lot of the Republican politicians who have also contributed to a lot of this crazy, wasteful spending. But we will get more upset with the people that are actually achieving the goal and say, well, they're doing it. We'll nitpick with that. Well, I don't like the way they're going about it. I don't like. But we don't have that same energy when we look at Bill Clinton, Barack Obama, Joe Biden. Y'all see I left Von's comment on the screen. My boy Clinton. Why is that your boy Clinton, bro? Why is Clinton your boy? Let me ask you this. Hold on. Watch this. And I'm just using you as an example, Vons. But we all fell in love with that. We used to run around and say that Bill Clinton is the first black president. We were so excited when Bill Clinton put his office in Harlem. We celebrated Bill Clinton in the black community. Let me ask you this, Vons. Can you give me 2 things that Bill Clinton did that helped your life or helped black people get ahead or to become more? Can you give me a couple things? He was in office for 8 years, I believe, right? Or, yeah, I believe he, well, I don't, did it get cut short with the whole Monica Lewinsky thing? I don't know. But he was in office. Can you tell me a couple things that Bill Clinton did to make him your boy? And I'm not just talking to Vons. Anybody else can chime in as well, because we all, myself included, we all fell in love with Bill Clinton. And then you get older and you realize, like, well, why? Bez said LeBron was asked why you vote for Kamala. The ninja said, because I have a wife and daughter. He really did say that. Abortion push failed them. It's a fact. Dak's brain working in real time is indicated by grunts and growls. That's a fact. Vons wrote Elon Musk on some other. Elon be on devil time after that Hitler salute. I'm done with him. You see how emotional black people are? The Jewish people are not even done with Elon. The Jewish people came out. What is the group? The group that protects people against anti-Semitic thing, the ADL. They came out and said, no, people are taking it out of context. Elon Musk was not saluting Hitler. They actually defended him. But here you have Vons, a black man, who's calling him the devil and saying he's done with him after he did the Hitler salute. This is just another example of black people getting overly emotional about something that does not even impact them. Another example, we're seeing it. Vons went from in a minute, he said Bill Clinton's his boy, and he said Elon's the devil, and he's done with him after he did the Hitler salute. Meanwhile, Jewish people are sitting here defending Elon Musk. Jewish people are probably doing it. Why? Maybe because it's in their best interest to do so. Because they realize that they can use it. I don't know. I don't know. They did not get over. They're thinking more logically, not emotionally. And that's why they are successful in this world. And that is why we are not successful, because we get so emotionally attached to things that don't even impact us. Oh, yeah, we'll fight for the LGBTQ movement. We'll fight for this. We'll fight for that. We'll fight for. Why are we so emotionally engaged in things that have absolutely nothing to do with us? Speaking of getting ahead, Ebony wrote that part. The Anti-Defamation League, yeah, right, the ADL. Watch Elon talk. Vons, I've seen Elon talk. All right, so let me ask you this. Vons told me to watch Elon talk. I'm going to give y'all a perfect example. Vons, I love you. You know you're my brother. I'm going to give you a perfect example of this. Vons just said he's done with Elon, called Elon the devil, said he did the Hitler Nazi stuff. Okay. Then he just told me to watch Elon talk. Vons, since you want me to watch Elon talk, I've seen him talk. I'm assuming that there's something that I should be that I'm missing. Tell me what I'm missing when it comes to Elon talking. Give me an example of something that Elon has said that has offended you or that has hindered your success. Maybe I'm missing it. I'm totally open to the fact that I may be wrong. Vons, tell me exactly what I'm missing. What did Elon say? What do you want me to watch for? At least just give me the heads up so when I'm watching Elon from now on, I'll know what to look out for because I may be missing it. We all have blind spots. Just tell me exactly what it is that I'm missing. And if you can tell me what I'm missing, cool. Now, if you don't write anything, then doesn't that kind of make my point about us getting overly emotional and triggered by certain things and not having the logic behind it and just getting caught up in, oh, he's racist, he's devil, he did the Hitler. Vons, tell me exactly what I should be looking out for Hitler. I mean, for Hitler, what I should be looking out for Elon Musk. Ebony wrote, I be minding my black ass business when folks act out. Sit back like popcorn. Facts. Elon Musk doing the Hitler salute. If that, like, I'm looking back like, all right, what's the ADL going to say about this? ADL came out about Kyrie. No. Hey, Vons, did you, a lot of us, I didn't see any of the NBA players who got Nike contracts coming out and supporting Kyrie when all he did was tweet a link to a documentary that most people just didn't even watch, but everybody bashed Kyrie. So we'll bash Kyrie and be okay with him getting crucified. But then when it's Elon Musk doing something that supposedly actually offends the Jewish community, they're defending it. Why? Because they are logical. They are practical. They use their emotions in a logical way. We get played and bamboozled with our emotions. They use their victimhood in a positive way to become more successful, to unite. They use it as a rallying cry. We use ours for what? To beg for reparations? To beg to get fooled by, oh, Ayanna Pressley, I'm glad she's pushing legislation. Yeah, well, she didn't do it when she had the leverage. Bez wrote, nothing wrong with the devil, Vons. He need love too. Make sure y'all like. Make sure y'all like. We getting the room filled. We got 20,000 people in the building. Vons wrote, my emotions are not ruled by money. My emotions are not ruled by money. You mean your logic is not? Vons, just give me an example of what I should be looking out for Elon. See, you almost distracted me. Once again, Vons, keep it. I'm just using that as an example. He came on here saying Elon's the devil. Just watch how he speaks. Watch how he speaks. Tell me what he said. Give me an example. Crickets. Vons, just take heed. We've all gotten caught up in emotional things. We all have done it, but recognize, don't keep pushing. We don't have to keep pushing this battle. We can sit back and say, you know what? Yeah, I may have been a little bit overly emotional with that. I may have, involved myself in getting emotionally attached to somebody else's issue. Meanwhile, they're not even emotionally. I may have gotten caught up in that. Maybe I should be more logical. You don't have to keep going when things are not working. We don't have to do that. All right, next video. Next video. Where are we going? Where are we going? All right, let's go with RFK Jr. Let's go with RFK Jr. I want to show RFK some love. RFK, man, this is somebody that y'all know on the show. I was a big RFK guy, and when he decided to drop out of the race, I was conflicted. I'll be totally honest. It felt a lot easier. I thought it was going to feel a lot easier for me to vote for RFK Jr. than it was to vote for Trump. Actually, I've been pleasantly surprised. I was pleasantly surprised. It was pretty easy. The Democrats made it very easy. They made me very comfortable voting for Trump. And Trump's performance thus far has made me very comfortable voting for him. I think that the pros from what Trump has brought to the table have outweighed the cons so far. That may change, and I have to hold that. If it does change, I have to hold myself accountable to that. But I just don't see other people on the other side holding themselves accountable. But it is what it is. It is what it is. Let me go to the video that I wanted to show y'all with RFK showing his in the Oval Office, because like I said, one of the things that I was nervous about, and a lot of people were telling me, well, RFK Jr., Trump is just using him. He's not going to really put him in a position. He's not going to really give him power. And one of the things that made me comfortable at that time in giving Trump a chance was the fact that Trump was already giving RFK Jr. a platform. We have to keep in mind that Trump receives a lot of money as well. He relies on raising funds as well. So when you have a guy like RFK Jr., who is calling out the FDA, calling out Big Pharma, which is attached to a lot of these huge, powerful people and wealthy individuals that they rely on, that contribute a lot of this money and that manipulate a lot of what goes on in our country. Donald Trump putting RFK Jr., giving him a voice and a microphone, turns off a whole lot of powerful people in this country. So a lot of people were thinking like, oh, he's just doing it. Once Trump wins, he's not going to put RFK in a position. Y'all got to admit, Trump stood on it. He stood on it. It was not the popular thing. It wasn't even the popular thing in the Republican Party to bring RFK Jr. on. Let's remember, RFK Jr. came from the Democratic Party. So he was hated by the Democrats, and there's a lot of Republicans that despised him. Trump still stood on it with a handshake deal, and now RFK Jr. is the head of health. What is it? The Health Services, HHS. He's the head of it. We're not going to give Trump any credit for that, but it is what it is. I'll give him credit. Don't trip. I'll give him the credit that y'all won't give him. Let's look at this video that I want to show with RFK. And let me catch up with the comments before we get into the video, just so I can make sure. Oh, man. All right. Ebony wrote, I saw a video talking about Mars is not a location, but a state of mind and practices that remove the human aspect and go straight technology. So Mars is not a location, but a state of mind and practices that remove the human aspect and go straight technology. That's interesting. I'll be totally honest. I've heard a lot of people that are upset with Elon exploring space. Even I remember Elon was like visibly, like Elon was crying, like he was tearing up because I think it was Buzz Aldrin. I'm about to say Buzz Lightyear, where he was calling out a lot of the stuff that Elon was doing. So I don't know. And here goes Vons. I'm not the one for examples. This is a microcosm of what has happened with the Black population. We will say all these emotional things, all this person's racist, this person's this person's that. But then when it's like, oh yeah, what did they say that was racist? You need to watch him talk. He's racist. Okay, I'll watch him talk, and I have watched him talk, but tell me what I should be looking out for. If you're telling me that OG, come on, Vons. Ebony wrote, I don't know, so I'm not confident in that. Just something I saw in passing. Yeah, I've seen some of that, Ebony. I just haven't really looked into it. I'll be totally honest. Excuse me, I have to go to a prior engagement. Great show. Uncompetitive, man. Shout out to you. Everybody wish Uncompetitive. Send Uncompetitive some good energy as we enter this weekend. Finish out Friday first and foremost, but then enter the weekend. Ebony wrote, but yay, RFK Jr. I'm praying for real change to our food and other consumables. That's what I'm on. Queez wrote, America has eat the rich mentality. We tend to say that they did something evil to get to that point. That's a fact. We have, it goes back to what Cat Williams told Shannon Sharp in that interview. we have a strange affiliation with losers. I think that's what he said. Don't quote me word for word, but we are the biggest haters. Like, we have been convinced to hate winners. The same thing happened with Patrick Mahomes. People were, yeah, I'm ready for somebody else to win. What? Like, okay, if you're rooting for the Eagles, you're rooting for the Eagles. But to say that you're just ready for somebody else to win, like, that's crazy to me. Like, damn. So if I work hard and become successful, it's like you're rooting for me to not be successful. A lot of people were happy when I got cut from the NFL. Let's be real. I know exactly who y'all are. I don't care though, because I'm still that guy. You feel me? So it doesn't really matter to me. But it just, people root for you to lose. They want to ride the wave as long as they can and then root for you to lose because they don't identify it with their success. It just is what it is. Bonds wrote, RFK keeping his family legacy alive. I wonder if Buzz Lightyear is a spin on Buzz Aldrin. How easily my ADHD just kicked in. Yeah, I think it is. Elon was calling Americans parasites. Americans are parasites. Well, first off, let me look at the definition of a parasite. Before I say something, Ebony, let me look up the definition of a parasite. Parasite definition, Merriam-Webster. An organism living in, on, or with another organism in order to obtain nutrients, grow or multiply, often in a state that directly or indirectly harms the host. I guess if the earth is our host and I don't know, are we parasites? Someone or something that resembles a biological parasite and living off of, being dependent on or exploiting another while giving little or nothing in return. Yeah, Americans are parasites. Isn't that what JFK? I think JFK was the one that says, ask not what your country can do for you, but ask what you can do for your country. Yeah. Y'all living off of something, but not contributing anything to it. Matter of fact, the Democrats are parasites. Y'all living off of black people voting for y'all and not doing anything for black people. Parasites. All right, let's keep going. Buzz said he never went to the moon. Yeah, he did say that. But then he came out and said other stuff. Buzz, matter of fact, he came. So our middle school in town, well, the one that I went to, they changed the name to Buzz Aldrin. And I remember Buzz Aldrin came and talked to the school. I wasn't there. I'd already graduated from middle school, but they were saying he came in there drunk, whatever, saying inappropriate things. So apparently Buzz Aldrin, I think he's an alcoholic. Don't quote me on it, but I think that he drinks often and has been called out on a lot of that. Let me look up the definition of parasite. How easily Dax 80. Yo, I gotta look into it. I don't even know what video. All right, we're on RFK Jr. Let's keep going. Yeah, stop allowing people to give you medicine for ADHD. ADHD may be a superpower. It's just how you look at it.
So help me God. Congratulations, Mr. Secretary.
Oh, stop. Let me stop.
I want to begin by thanking President Trump for giving me this extraordinary opportunity. And I want to introduce my family and thank them for being here. My wife, Cheryl, my cousin, Anthony Shriver, my daughter, Kik, my other daughter, Kira, Carolina Shriver, Joey Shriver, Jackson Hines, and Amaryllis Kennedy. All right. And I want to thank all of you for your support and throughout this whole 2.5-year journey. My first time in this Oval Office was in 1961, and I came here to meet or 1962. I came here and I had a meeting with my uncle, who was president then, where we talked about the environment. He was involved deeply, as we all know, in restoring physical fitness in this country. He challenged at one point during his administration, he challenged Americans to do a 50-mile walk, which I ultimately did. But I remember the day that my father completed his walk. We were staying up at Camp David. And my father came in after 18 hours walking on the C&O towpath. And with his feet bleeding and blisters on them. My father had one of his best friends was Al Lowenstein. And Al Lowenstein ultimately was a congressman from New York who was assassinated himself in 1980. But Al Lowenstein had started the Dump Johnson movement to get rid of President Johnson and end the Vietnam War. And at the time that he started it, people just thought it was a...
As you're listening to this, I don't want to interrupt, but I just want to give y'all a little, like, my perspective on it. Whenever I listen to, you know how Vaughn said earlier, just listen to Elon. That's what I kind of say when I say just listen to RFK Jr. Because there's a lot of people that don't like him, a lot of people that have bought into the propaganda around him, that don't understand his history of being an environmental attorney, the things that he's fought for, fighting for the little guy, his experience. A lot of people get caught up in the, oh, he dropped a bear off or he had a brain worm or whatever. I don't even know. Whenever I just hear RFK talk, I'm like, yo, why do people hate him so much? Like, legit, why do people hate him so much? And I got to bring up this conversation that I had with a friend of mine, where I believe that he actually thought, or maybe he saw one of my interviews with a mutual friend, or he sent me a picture where it's RFK Jr. with a brain worm. And I said, oh, you're not a fan of RFK Jr. I actually saw it. Maybe I actually talked about this before. I saw it a couple days later. I'm like, yo, you're not a fan of RFK Jr.? And the reason why I'm bringing up this combo is because, why did I say I was bringing it up? Well, I don't know. It just goes to the same point of, if we allow other people to describe and to paint the picture of who RFK Jr. is, then it can be very different from the reality based on who he's always been, who he's fought for. And I just sit back and wonder, like, why are people so scared of him? And all you have to do is look at the people that he's fought against. He's fought against Big Pharma. He's fought against the Food and Drug Administration. He's called out the obvious problems that we have in our country with obesity. He's done all these things. He's talked about why was autism 1 in every 10,000 children, and now it's like 1 in 36. He's asking these questions. And what a lot of people have said, and even in this conversation that I'm referring to, he spreads misinformation. I really don't understand that whole concept of spreading misinformation. You mean he's been wrong on certain things? Okay. Who hasn't been wrong on certain things? Do we not recall what happened in 2020? Do we not think Anthony Fauci was wrong on things? Do we not think Pfizer was wrong on things? Do we not think, do we not think Barack Obama was wrong on things? Joe Biden was wrong on things? Donald Trump was wrong on things? And what's so scary about them saying that RFK Jr. was wrong on certain things, in my opinion, is that, how can I say this? It prevents us from wanting to push the issue against the Big Pharma, against the Food and Drug Administration that is hugely and largely responsible. And it's us getting manipulated, but they have manipulated us into embracing an unhealthy lifestyle and an unhealthy diet, all to profit their own companies and line their own pockets. So when we can just get turned off from RFK Jr. and say he pushed misinformation, he was wrong on these things. Well, what about all the things that he was right on? And even if you challenge certain things and you're not right on it, it's still good to have people that will challenge these things. So what? Who's perfect? Who's perfect? I can tell you what's largely imperfect is our culture and our food and drug, the food industry being connected with the drug administration or the drug industry, and them having the food. Like, look at our country. There's a reason why we had, and I got to look this up. I got to make sure I look this up. There's a reason why people in America died from 2020. What happened in 2020? I don't even want to say the word because I don't want them flagging this. There's a reason why we died at a higher rate than most other countries. I think all other countries, but I'm just going to say most. We died at a higher rate. We're supposed to be the greatest country in the world, but yet we clearly have an unhealthy population that is extremely vulnerable to diseases, to all these other things. So why would we, clearly there's been misinformation that we've just accepted how we live our lives is based on misinformation. The food that we eat when we go to the grocery, it's all based on misinformation. All of it. But then we have somebody like RFK Jr. that will challenge these things. But for whatever reason, we will just feed into the propaganda and get fooled into not liking this type of guy. But when you hear him speak, going back to the initial point that I was making, to Vaughn's point, when you hear him speak, what are the things that you're opposed to? Okay, he doesn't like certain vaccines, and he's made it very clear that it's certain vaccines, but let's say he doesn't like vaccines. Okay, so what? He doesn't like vaccines. Now, he's made it very clear, I got to say it again, that he's opposed to certain vaccines, especially ones where the research doesn't indicate that it's beneficial for a lot of people. We know that the big pharma, they control, we just played a video last show, big pharma controls all these peer studies and all this stuff. The big pharma controls these doctors. They control these medical professionals. They control the med schools. The doctors have called it out. Let's just keep going. Let's just keep going. Let me make sure that y'all have any comments. Mont wrote, yeah, he's an alcoholic. I think you're talking about Buzz. ADHD is a superpower once you learn to accept it. I know I'm behind. Oh my God, what the F? Vons wrote, Dak, you sound like a Trumper. I can see that. To you, I can see that. I have absolutely no problem with that. I have absolutely no problem with that. My question to you is, who do you sound like? You sound like an Ayanna Pressley. You sound like an AOC. You sound like a Joe Biden. You sound like a Barack Obama. You sound like whoever, like, cool. Sound like a Trumper. And I'm also willing to still call out Trump about certain stuff that I dislike. There's not everything that I like about Trump, but I like Trump, the fact that Trump has the courage to stand up on a lot of these things that I think are problems with our culture in America. I like the fact that Trump's willing to bring a guy like RFK Jr. on. I like the fact that Trump's willing to bring Tulsi Gabbard on. I like the fact that Trump's bringing Kash Patel, Pete Hegseth. I like the fact that Trump, that we now have a country where people are signing up for the military more because they've been so turned off by America based on this Democratic leadership that when you compare our military to a lot of other militaries, it's very small. And a lot of these people are our ops. So yeah, sound like a Trumper. I take that as a compliment. I don't like what Trump, I can feel myself right now that I don't like what Trump said about Gaza. I think it's dumb. I think it's dumb. I'm just telling y'all. Off the top of my head, like when I first heard it, I haven't really looked into the details of it, but to say that America is going to take over God, I think that's dumb. I think it just doesn't make any sense. I have no problem saying that. I have an issue with Trump, and I have a strong feeling. Now we're going to see how it all plays out, but I have a strong feeling about some of the dealings, the involvement that it looks like Trump may get us involved with when it comes to Israel. Got no problem calling it out. So this is the difference. You may say I'm a Trumper, cool, but I have no problem calling Donald Trump out on the stuff that I dislike. I dislike the fact that your campaign slogan, it took me a long time to get past over Make America Great Again. Initially, it took me a lot to just thought it was insensitive. Just thought by hand, and I didn't feel like he felt the need to elaborate on what it meant. I think it was very insensitive to a lot of people who don't feel that America has been great to us and Black people in particular. I have no problem doing that. But y'all won't call out anybody on y'all side. Matter of fact, by y'all not calling out people, now we got all this craziness happening with school because Vaughn's people like you have not been willing to call out the Democratic Party in certain ways, and will just continue to vote for them. I don't think you voted for them this time, or you said you didn't. I don't know. You tell us. Yeah, I'm just messing with them. But I think because people haven't been willing to call out the Democratic Party, that is exactly why the Democratic Party, the politicians have felt comfortable pushing all these crazy things. I don't know. Like, so what? Like, I don't like, yo, nobody's perfect. It's like we live in this utopia bubble that we think that people are perfect. Nah, everybody ain't perfect. I disagree with the stuff that I was thinking a year ago, 10 years ago, 5 years ago. It is what it is. Like Urs said, RFK Jr. is a big win for America. And the fact that we're allowing people to not see it as that says a lot about us. And it says a lot about our culture. It says a lot about how we're just so comfortable being out of shape. We're so comfortable eating all these processed foods. We're so comfortable having all these diseases, this disease epidemic. Let's keep going with the video.
And ultimately, he asked my
MAGA gang, Vons, Trumper. Who cares, bro? It's this emotional stuff. Like
father to run for president against Johnson. My father wouldn't do it at that time, and he asked Gene McCarthy. McCarthy did it, and he joined that campaign. And my father ultimately ran, and Johnson then dropped out. So Al Lowenstein succeeded. And although Al Lowenstein was on the other side now, running against my father with Gene McCarthy, my father wrote him a note, a quote from Emerson, where he said, if a single man plant himself firmly on his own ideal and there abide, the whole wide world will come around to him. For 20 years, I've gotten up every morning on my knees and prayed that God would put me in a position where I can end the childhood chronic disease epidemic in this country. On August 23rd of last year, God sent me President Trump. All right. And he gave me he's now given me, he's kept every promise that he's made to me. He's kept his word in every account and gone way beyond it. I'm so grateful to you, Mr. President. A lot of people told me that I couldn't trust President Trump. I better get it in writing. And we did a handshake, and everything that he told me he was going to do, he has done.
Right. Everything he told me he was going to do, he has done. All right, let's pivot real quick. I know I wanted to play that whole thing, but just being honest, it's already 10. I want to play this real quick, this clip. This is why I'm excited about RFK Jr. And I'm excited about Trump giving RFK Jr. the power to address these things. Let's are we already there? Hold on. All right, here we go.
1 in 10,000. 1 in 10,000. Now it's 1 in 36. Who can believe that? There's something wrong. There's something wrong, and I think it's something that can be found out. Long ago, 1 in 10,000 people, children, had autism. Now it's 1 in 36. Think of that. 1 in 10,000. 1 in 10,000. Now it's 1 in 36.
We went from 1 in 10,000 kids getting autism to 1 in 36. What else could be contributing to this other than what we're putting in our body and what we're doing with our body? Is it, or unless you believe it's a spiritual thing? Who's been willing to call this stuff out? Who's been willing to address these things? I haven't heard the other side address these things. I haven't heard the other side have the courage to call out very powerful people that make a lot of money who it looks like may be contributing to a lot of these things. Whether it's all the things that we're giving our babies as soon as they're born, we're giving them all these shots and stuff like that.
Who can believe that? There's something wrong. There's something wrong, and I think it's something that can be found out. Long ago, 1 in 10.
There's something wrong. There's something wrong. There's something wrong. Let's hold on. Let me figure out. I think we got through everything that I wanted to make sure that we've got through. Hold on. All right. So the only thing that we missed was the pastor. We'll catch up with that on Monday. I got a couple meetings and my parents are in town, so I'm going to hang out with my folks today. So I'm going to jump off of here. All right. So Vons. All right, Vons. Yo, Ben's funny. All right. Let me catch up with the comments real quick. Vons wrote, agree. We got to call Dems out. They act like they're infallible. That's a fact. Bez quoted RFK Jr. and said, God sent us President Trump. Won't he do it? Hey, Bez, won't he do it? God is great, right? Yo, Bez. 1 in 36 is crazy. Ebony wrote, mental health. And we know physical health and mental health, in my opinion, go hand in hand. And all this propaganda contributes to a lot of this mental health stuff as well. Is what we allow ourselves to become emotionally triggered by, in my opinion, contributes to our mental health as well. What you're putting in your body is a spiritual thing as well. Okay, and I'm with you. Trump keeps his word. That goes a long way, bad or good. Air pollution is another thing. Definitely, that's definitely another thing. Age, yeah, but I don't know if that's what we're talking about as far as the health crisis and yeah, but the age, yeah, I get what you're saying. All right, so let's do this. Y'all know we do at the end of every show. We take 45 seconds to clear our mind. It's Friday. Y'all know what we set out every Sunday and Monday to do. Make this our greatest week ever. I'm going to try to get y'all out of here as soon as possible. Hopefully we can be out of here in 2 minutes. We're going to do our 45 seconds. Do whatever it is that you need to do in your 45 seconds. Breath work, meditation, manifestation, whatever it is. Clear your mind. I don't know. Pick your nose. Do whatever it is you need to do, like Lil X. Whatever it is you need to do. If you're in a safe place, close your eyes. The goal is to, after this show in the next 2 minutes, to put ourselves in the best mindset to finish out this week so that we can say this was our greatest week ever. So with that, 45 seconds. If you're in a safe place, close your eyes. We will begin now. All right, 2 more breaths. We're going to exhale all the BS. Inhale all positive energy. Exhale that BS. Anything holding us back from becoming the greatest version of ourselves, and inhaling all the positive. Life is amazing. Life is great. We all got the opportunity to do some things special, all right? I pray that everybody's confident. I pray that everybody gets whatever you want. Whatever it is that you want in life, I hope that you have the confidence to go out there and get it. Whatever's for you, whatever you feel is for you, that's for you. Y'all know we come here to do elevate on purpose, both from an intentional standpoint as well as challenging ourselves to up our standards so we can become the leaders that we need to become, as well as to grow into the people that we need to become in order to accomplish the outlandish, arrogant, crazy goals that all of us are capable of. Strength and honor. Strength and honor, onward and upward. Get to that bag. Today's the Fridays where you look in your bag and make sure that you did all the things or you didn't do all the things that are aligned with the big picture goal. What's in my bag is in my bag. What's in your bag is in your bag. Y'all know what I focus on: peace, love, happiness, and health, wealth, and in everything we do, integrity. And with that, yeah, Ebony is funny, yo. Hold on. Ebony, I'm John. I can't close my eyes, but I'll be have a good weekend from Ant Good People. Queen sent the fire emojis. Y'all know what it is. Y'all have a good one. Love y'all, and I'll see y'all soon. Oh, matter of fact, yo, Sunday, we got the first Sunday show. So Ebony, matter of fact, Ebony, I'm asking you while we're on the show, Ebony, on Sunday, if you want to tap in, we're doing a Sunday supper, Sunday dinner, Sunday conversation. I don't even know if we've even picked we did pick the time. Hold on. I got to forget. Matter of fact, hold on. Let me look at my phone. Hold on. So on Sunday, we're doing that. Remember, I told y'all we're going to do more of a Zoom show. I'm just going to be moderating. I'm not even going to be giving my opinion like that. At least that's how I'm feeling now, unless there's just not a lot of people on and I got to chime in. I'm just going to be stoking the fire here and there. But let me, what time did we say? I think we said 7 to 9. So come in as long as you can. You don't have to stay for the entire show. But we're just going to be having a conversation, chill, super relaxed, laid back. We're not, no arguments, no nothing. We're just having conversations. Very chill. I have to emphasize that. Very chill. Oh, I said 2 minutes. So let me get out of here. Ebony Rowe, great show. Glad to catch it. Thank you. Peace and abundance, y'all. Camming up, Eb. Where you at? Yeah, we'll be camming up. And it'll give us a chance to, it's nice to be dressed up, to look nice on the camera, cam up, network with people, meet new people and whatnot, and present ourselves to whoever will be watching. But on that note, I'll see y'all soon. Yeah, Eb, you don't see this chat? Oh, you don't see the chat? Why can't I see the other people? Oh, I thought you saw the chat. All right, Ebony, I'm gonna send you a DM. I'm gonna send you a message. All right, I'll see y'all soon. Love y'all. Appreciate y'all. Have a great weekend and finish on a Friday.